I've seen people line up outside of movie theaters for stuff, but seeing people down 3 blocks out of Popeyes for a chicken sandwich is unbelievable. But I'm not gonna lie though, it was very good. It was very good.
I've never had. Do you recommend?
Do I recommend? I do.
Popeyes or Chick-fil-A though?
I don't know. It was so funny because on social...
Only get one on Sunday.
On social media, Popeyes has been roasting Chick-fil-A. Anyway, welcome to episode 1 of On the Fly. I'm Rocco Law. He's Casey Fahrer.
What's up?
She's Lorrie Dellacroce.
Hi, how you doing?
And now if you're tuning into this right now, chances are you probably haven't or have heard of me and Casey. But we do a little sports show called Sports Talk, a BMB award-winning show. And you can see on Friday every 3 weeks on the BMB YouTube page. Now, we do have a third host. I'm pretty sure you might know her, you might not know her, but
you probably know her. You probably know her.
Or you probably do know her. Thanks for interjecting in there. But
according to Lorrie.
Yes, according to Lorrie. But she is the producer of this awesome podcast. How are you doing, Lorrie?
I'm good. How are you, Rocco?
Doing fantastic. Now, I'm pretty sure many people don't know this, but besides Miss Kalish, Miss Kate,
what's up?
Who is in the room supervising right now, you are the first real female on-air talent we have debuting here for the BMB Sports Department. How does that make you feel?
I feel like you're giving me a lot of credit, and I'm going to take it. Thank you very much, Rocco.
Too much credit?
Never too much credit.
There you go.
Now, of course, this is going to be a sports podcast, but we are all athletes, and we all come from different sports backgrounds. I mean, we are seniors in high school. Casey, you play?
Play volleyball for my school.
Ex-volleyball player. They sadly lost to... Who do you guys lose to?
I don't want to talk about it.
Doesn't want to talk about it because he was on the bench.
Salonica.
But, Lorrie, you play?
I play basketball, volleyball, and can't forget badminton.
Don't worry, they also lost for volleyball.
So you could say Lorrie is a 2-sport athlete because I don't know. I really don't want to give Ben too much credit.
I didn't know we were going there.
What's your sport, Rocco?
Okay, well, I play baseball.
Let's get to Rocco, yeah.
Yeah, again, it is America's soon-to-be-gone forgotten pastime.
DH.
Hey, I'm still in love with the game, though, as Drake would put it. But anyway, we have some fun and great segments and games we're going to get to play today, and we'll get to all of that soon. But first, I think we got to have a little bit of a backstory on how this podcast came about. So, Casey, how does podcast come about?
Well, I'm going to be real with you, Chief. It started off with basically you coming to me and saying...
That's usually how it goes.
All right, I wouldn't say that, but you came to me and said, hey, you want to do a podcast? And I'd heard other people talking about it, and I said, yeah, I'll come right on board. And then I hear that we have Lorrie and our other man who's currently not with us, Tom Morrow.
Yes, Tom is currently doing the TriCaster for BMB Midweek Update, which is always a great thing to see. But I think you got down to maybe half of that story. But to be honest, I really did, to a little bit of backstory, go back to Sports Talk. When we first started to do Sports Talk, I really wanted it to be called something else, but I just couldn't think of it at the time, because at the time, my brain was just mush, and I had no conception of creativity once at all.
Nothing's changed.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I did get that win at the Bash Awards last year.
So did I.
Second.
I did it by myself. Point taken.
True.
Yeah, there we go. But, I did want Sports Talk to be called something, but it really, at the time, I thought Sports Talk should have been called On the Fly, which this podcast is called now, because basically On the Fly, the meaning is that we are basically doing everything at a moment's notice. Like, it's not, planned out. We don't have meetings. We don't have a meeting. 5 minutes before this, I basically ran through the script to you guys and basically just started laughing at every subject I try to tell you guys. So that's basically what On the Fly means. Just go through it just right before the podcast is not, a planned show that we have for you today. But that's basically what it's about. But Lorrie, I'd like to know your thoughts of how this came about.
Well, you sent me a text that you had this idea to bring this crew together. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
What?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, this is a great team. SDN team.
The SDN
team.
SDN team.
How could we forget?
Yes, that one video.
Should we review the video?
Let's not.
Tell them about it a little?
Let's not.
So Casey, Lorrie, I think they're finally ready to hear, the games and headlines we're about to say. So Casey, why don't you start us off? Let's go with the headlines.
So sticking with the Drake theme, let's go into the headlines. First off, girls soccer ended up losing in the county finals, which is not the result that they would have liked. Rocco, tell us all about that. You were at the game.
Yeah, I was, and me and junior coordinator Tom Moore, I was out here right now. We were there. We were in Cold Spring Harbor. It was a cold night. We went there. We got to go up top on the tower. We started to record, and to be honest, I mean they had a great first half. The Pirates had the possession of the ball, I believe, for about 90% of the first half. They had the most shots on goal in the first half, and they applied the most pressure to the opposing goalkeeper, which was MacArthur. And I just thought that they didn't seize the opportunities that they had.
I know you say 90% of the time, but was it really? Because that's like really hard to do.
All right. Well, to be fair, okay, I think in reality it was most of the time. I think is that better?
That's better.
Okay. So most of the time they had possession of the ball, but they just didn't capitalize on their opportunities. And once it got to the second half, it was a stalemate in the first half. It was 0-0. You go into the second half now.
Then all the scoring started.
Exactly. That's when all the scoring started. MacArthur broke away on a pass from the midfielders. They broke away and they scored. It was 1-0. Then from there, I believe that's when everything turned to go down south. Then you had the other goal on the free kick. Then Julia Cardis, you could see the frustration on her face. You could just see the frustration on her face, and I get it. We're all athletes. We get it. Being frustrated as an athlete is hard to overcome. But in that type of moment, that could have been a time for them to come back and score and tie the game. They were already down at that point 2-0.
That's when it comes down to it. You really have to have that mentality to be able to push through, and not only be physically be able to do it, but mentally not tell yourself not to do that.
It's half the game, mental.
I mean, that's true, but what I found really interesting when I finally started watching girls soccer this year, because they went pretty far. They went to the county.
Tell me.
They went to the county final, Casey, and I have not seen that type of physical play in a girls' sport in quite some time. I saw bodies flying everywhere in the first round, in the quarterfinal, in the semifinal, and in the county final.
But were they flops?
Were they? See, that's the thing, though. See, that's the thing, though. When I was at the county final, whenever everybody fell down, they were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And of course, the opposing section, if the boys are there or the boys team is there, they always like to do, "You can't do that," something like that, right? Something like that, and it just makes the game just that much more frustrating, and it just
intense.
Yeah, it just strains the mental psyche.
It's more fun to watch.
Yeah,
it is more fun to watch, but to be honest, though, the Pirates had a chance. I believe the best team did not win in the county final. I do believe that the Pirates were better than MacArthur.
I feel like from what you're saying, it was just a bad series of events.
It
wasn't one thing that gave fault.
They were just unlucky. And then goalkeeper Haley Stork, who's a sophomore, she was incredible. She single-handedly saved many opportunities in that semifinal for the Pirates against North Shore that would have ended up as a loss in the loss column for the Pirates and would not have made it to this year's county final without Haley Stork behiund goal. She was just amazing. She was flying all over the goal. She was flying up top. She looked like Superman. She was flying everywhere all over the goalpost. But I mean, and the real big thing that I really have right here in my notes, I actually pointed to Casey before we started the podcast, is that Julia Rawlinson, she's a basketball star. There's no other way around it. She's a basketball star. Lorrie, I'm sure you know this because you are on the team.
Lorrie's the point guard.
Julia's a friend of mine. She has a shark mentality. She has such tunnel vision on what she needs to do on the field and court that it's just you got to move out of the way. And
in the playoffs, Casey, I don't know if you play Ultimate Team or like that, but there's certain cards and tiers once you get towards the playoffs.
The game changes, yeah.
Exactly. And if you had to rate Julia Rawlinson in the playoffs, she is probably a 99. in every category. She was cold all postseason long. First of all, she scored 2 goals against Long Beach in the first round. She scored a goal against Manhasset in the quarterfinal. She scored 2 more goals against North Shore in the semifinal, which was incredible because I saw that game winner. If you saw that game winner, I was there. It went to 2 overtimes. She broke away. She was just on her last legs. She was mentally just going to give out. She was fatigued. She may have probably like checked out mentally before the end of the second half. But being able to score that type of goal in the second overtime and give them that league, that's just cold-blooded. She had ice on her veins.
Rocco, do you have ice in your veins?
No. I think more so as an analysis point, you get lost in the numbers and you just like to see the game
and their success.
Exactly,
and
but
thrive
exactly. But okay, if you want to bring up Sam Green, all right, Lorrie and Casey, we'll bring up Sam Green.
All right, let's go into it.
All right, so Sam Green, as you know, is one of the,
or if you don't know,
right? If you don't know, she is one of the stars of the girls volleyball team. Lorrie, you are a part of that team.
Yes.
And you guys went 14-0. This was a great season overall. First conference championship in almost 11 years since 2008. Yeah. That's quite something to pull off. I mean, yes, one could make the argument that yes, it was a lower conference. They weren't
That's
as
why they
many.
got the lucky number 14 seed.
True, 14-0, lucky number 14, but. They just weren't as many strong teams in the conference. Anybody could see that.
Yeah, well, this year we were actually able to get the right group of girls to finally succeed. Like, our coach was able, I think our coach was probably Sam Green. I would give her most of the coaching credit because she was actually able to help us and tell us what we had to do.
Coach of the year.
What?
Coach of the year.
Yeah, really. So we were able to really execute every game, and I don't know. We were in the 8-3 conference, and we played. Well, we were undefeated. Then we ended up playing someone in Ep1, and we lost in 3. But we had like a tough game. It was back and forth, but Rocco.
Yeah, but see, if you don't actually see the game, people just tend to see the numbers and the recap. But when you see the numbers, it kind of looked like a blowout. It did.
Yeah, it did. But if you were at that game, it was so intense. It was the most intense volleyball game I've ever played, and it was just we were hanging in there. It was they were good. They were just so much bigger and was able to really find the open spots to score on us to get points.
And I think, would you say it was due to experience? Have they been in that situation before, Southside?
Definitely. I mean, they had the coaching, definitely. We were watching a warm-ups, and they were doing, these drills that I've never even seen before, and they just look so clean the whole time. So
I don't go out and scout some teams like I know Rocco occasionally do, but we're not going to get into that. So I don't know, we were saying, the warm-ups they did. Mm-hmm. Is it something that you would, maybe someone like Sam Green could incorporate into next year's, or do you think it's just, maybe their unique thing?
I think it was just the way the coach was able to, keep it clean and keep what she needed. Wanted them to work on what she needed. I don't know about next year. I don't even know what they're gonna do.
I think that's definitely the case. Once a senior class or once an athletics team graduating class moves on, it's hard to now figure out a new system. But going back to experience, I mean, Coach Bazzalia of the Girls Varsity Soccer team, I mean, she really. To be quite fair, she had not been in that situation in the county final before. But give credit to MacArthur. Most of MacArthur's athletic teams have been in that situation since the dawn of time. They have been there. They've had the experience. They know what it takes to win a county final. And I was thinking to myself last night that if the girls' soccer team didn't strike first, it probably would have been over. And it's much easier said than done. Scoring goals and doing all that, getting the winning goal, doing it when it matters most. But to beat, in all honesty, it really comes down to experience. And I think that's just where both you and soccer team. In
most, if not all, high school sports, you come to the sport knowing what how to play. You know the basics, you know the skills. It's a matter of putting the right people in and the right group that's in that grade. like for next year, for my volleyball team was all seniors and juniors. For next year, they're gonna have all new group. They're gonna have to.
Well, what is there, like 5 seniors graduating? 6 seniors?
This year, yeah, I think.
Well, which one?
I don't even.
But if you had to make a prediction, I think we could go back.
It's 6.
All right.
Right, but I think if you had to make a prediction, I know Casey knows this because we talk about it all the time. We do sports talk, we do the analysis part, we do everything. But you know, you can make a similar case with girls softball. Girls softball, they went to the county final the year before. They stunned everybody. They went to the county final, lost in the heartbreaker in the third game, kind of like Game 7 to Carey. The year after, last year, they steamroll through all the county. They get the number 1 seed. They win the conference. They steamroll through the playoffs, and then they steamroll over division for the county championship. Now, I think one could argue that the girls soccer team still have their young core. They still have Rachel Eisert, captain. They still have Luciana Senaducate. They still have Brianna Sayok.
I think the team this year for soccer they had their seniors too, but they were really able to incorporate their younger.
Their seniors are more role models for the younger players because only.
They had how many junior captains?
They had
one or
two. And I'm surprised they didn't give Luciana a captain badge.
I know she was at least.
I mean, she.
I just see that she had like goals every game.
It's true, and she led the conference with goals. She had the most. She was a great player all regular season long. I just found that when the postseason came along, she just was a little more hesitant than.
It could just be the gameplay, the speed. Yeah, you never know.
But going back to what I was trying to say before, they only had 3 seniors starting out of the 11 players on the field. So if you look at that, there's like for volleyball, it's gonna be turnover. Mm-hmm. For soccer, there's not gonna be much turnover.
Right.
Expect to see them back in the same county finals, maybe the Long Island Championship, something along those lines next year.
Right, and what I just really found it stunning was that I think we talked about this in sports talk, but I said that that their regular season record did not reflect who they were and how they could play, and I think that definitely showed face when they actually defeated North Shore in overtime to reach the county final, and that I think that was just a prevalent cause.
The girls soccer team, I feel like they always are going to have young people, and they've always been pretty good. You know what I mean?
I do.
Since we've been here, they always had young kids coming in.
Yeah.
And like everyone is good at soccer.
Like I know last year
they all know what they're doing.
Last year they had like a ton of seniors, but those seniors all played together since like 8th grade.
Yeah, it's all the same kids.
And but in other news, Casey and Lorrie, I think we got to get down to the national sports aspect because the Ravens downed the Pats last week to give New England their first loss of the year. They're 8-1. Casey, I'm going to start with you because I know you do all that fantasy football stuff, and I know that you always lose every week in fantasy. But
I'm 6-3. It's not awful. It's better than your team, Rocco.
What's your record?
7-4.
Wait.
I don't play, but anyway, I do want to get your thoughts on the Ravens down the Pats.
I mean, I kind of expected it, honestly. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh no, it's the undefeated team, they can't lose. Patriots, they have, what is he, like 42 now? Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah, 42-year-old quarterback. They had a good but weaker than what they began with receiving core. Without Josh Gordon, when they brought in Antonio Brown for like one game, and etc. But the Ravens' defense is just so good.
It's true, and you're right. And I guess
there's no other way you can put it.
You can make it. I mean, it wasn't like it was a low score. It was a high scoring game. It was kind of close for a little bit, but when it got down to it, Lamar Jackson just burnt the Patriots defense, and they just left Tom Brady in the wind. And you know what? One thing I actually was hearing about earlier in the season that Tom Brady might want to go solo after the season if they do win the Super Bowl again. He might want to go solo and see if
I can't see that. What do you want to see? Tom Brady in, I don't know, a Denver Broncos jersey?
I don't know, but Lord, I feel like you're lost right now.
I mean, not knowing much, but I feel like finishing his career. His career, I don't think he would do that.
Would you see Tom Brady in the regular Patriots uniform or in bright orange?
I mean, I feel like he would want to finish out the team he's been with forever.
Yeah.
And I think what's really crazy, I mean, some, especially when you get to New England, some Patriots fans are, they are die-hard hardcore, you will see shrines of Tom Brady out on their yard.
Rocco, I want a shrine of you out on my front yard.
Yes, the BMB Sports Director Rocco will be out.
Mount Rushmore of Rocco.
Yes, the Mount Rushmore. Yes, the Mount Rushmore, the top 4. But I mean, like, it's crazy. As soon as the football season begins, like, they have like a shrine of Tom Brady. Like, they put the jersey on the tree, they get the flowers, they get the little bonfire, they put it on, they do this, they do that, and it's just crazy how some fans just go the extra mile.
That's how I felt when Tavares went to the Maple Leafs. We're not going to get into that. So you know what, Rocco? Why don't you continue us on?
I'm trying to, but Tavares is a whole other story. But we are going to get into a little bit of a preview for the winter sports season. I think we're gonna, with this on top of my head, let's stick with boys and girls. So I think we're going to go with first off is boys basketball. Now I know you might be thinking why the long pause? Well, I'll tell you why the long pause. Last year, the boys varsity basketball team they made the playoffs. They made
the second round.
Yes, they did lose in the second round.
Hold up, I thought that was a play-in game.
It was a play-in game, but it was it was actually Coach Fallon's first playoff victory in his 18-year tenure as head coach.
Oh, wow.
So
Lorrie's like, my team did better than that.
Yes. Lorrie's like, we won the conference.
Did.
But I mean,
Lorrie didn't.
And
without me, we can get into that later too.
We are, but like, what? It just mind boggles my mind that you lose these close games. That you lose these close games where you could win, and also you could have won the conference. You had the brief stint of production by Beckett. Yes, we get the whole story. He had to leave the team for some miraculous reason. We get all that. He had to leave the team. And, it was left up to the shoulders of a freshman of Richie Vaccaro. You had to leave it up to the three-point shooting of Jack Fontanetta. And you had to leave it up to the mid-range shot of Greg Pohl. We get all that. And they all their services were serviced well. They won against MacArthur, even though they did lose a 19-point lead. They did lose a 19-point lead going into overtime, which I thought was really incredible. But, I think what it comes down to is that either the coach or the players, they have to figure out a system of how to game manage the last quarter of the game, because if you don't start to do that, if you don't start game time managing in the last seconds of the game, you're not going to win games, and you're going to lose games that you should have won. This
year for the boys, it's really going to have to be themselves being able to put themselves together and come out on top, because I know that they're not having a lot of lead for their team, and they have to be able to get each other's head in the game and start winning early on.
They only lost 3 seniors, though, when you really look at it. Yeah. So it's not like they lost, like, the girls' volleyball team. We're going to keep going back to that. It's not like they lost, like, half their team. They only lost 3 of the, 13, 15 players on the team? Yeah. Only, I think, 2 of them started? Yeah. So you fill those roles, you get back to where they were last year. Yeah, and with the experience that they had now, they can go further.
Yeah, now they're going to have that senior experience, and I know they've had their team last year. I think was pretty small, right?
Yeah, they did run a little bit of a small ball.
Yeah, but now they have sophomores coming up as juniors that can actually play, so I think they'll be able to pull it out.
And I think the most important thing we're missing is that Calhoun and Conference, they lost their seniors. A lot of these teams have been losing their seniors.
Calhoun a lot of good seniors, yeah.
Right, and so is Garden City. So
Garden City's always good.
So yes,
doesn't matter what they do.
So yes, kids. Right, and so yes, we have been building up the momentum that Pirates will be having a tough time this season trying to reach the top of the conference. But regardless, I do think that they may have a shot at the conference championship, no less. But I think what we really have to get to is that 18 years and 1 playoff victory. That is
sounds like the Bengals.
That's right, and that's a problem. That's like the 27 NFC Championship year drought for the Dallas Cowboys, which I will not be getting into right now because the Dallas Cowboys fans drive me insane. Kyle Tenter, you know who you are. But anyway, it just drives me insane sometimes, Casey. It just drives me insane. 18 years and 1 playoff victory.
I feel like as a coach, I would just really want to push my kids just to be able to get there.
Now that he's there,
forever. I'd have to
it obviously drives Rocco insane. You got to imagine how much it drives him insane.
Right, and I think just the laid back persona just kills me.
I don't know.
Big game, though, this Sunday, guys. Big game. Jets and Giants going to be playing off. They're going to be playing the Meadowlands, and it's going to be a little bit of a hometown rivalry we have going on right now. The story of the Jets so far this season, Casey, is that their head coach is incompetent.
It's no bueno.
It's just not good. And yes, we're not going to get to Sam Darnold having mono. We're not going to get into that because, an elite quarterback missing half the season is not a great look at your team.
I wouldn't say elite, but...
He's not elite, but, people thought he would be the future of Giants quarterback, which I think he is. But, they just haven't been able to click. And you would have thought before the beginning of the season, you signed Le'Veon Bell, you drafted Quinton Williams, and you have a solid defense. You have some great pieces. People thought you could have been a playoff team.
Yeah, their team... Well, no, I wouldn't say a playoff team, but they could have improved. Look, their team, they went out this offseason, they did a lot of things. But honestly, at this moment, their team looks worse than what I got on my math test today. So... There's just not much you can do. I mean, do you fire Adam Gase? Like I've heard people say, why isn't he gone already? Even though it's been 9 games or 8 games?
Yeah, but people are saying that this guy was going to be the guy to lead this team back up to the NFL's upper echelon.
How well did he lead Miami when he had Jay Cutler at quarterback?
Exactly, which I just... And
first of all, why would you have Jay Cutler at quarterback?
Exactly, but then you lose to Miami with Jay Cutler as quarterback.
No, last Sunday. Quarterback.
Okay, well, he was. Okay,
right.
I didn't look at it.
I know what you mean, Rocco.
You do. But, I mean, but look at the Giants. I mean, yes, they have a 2-7 record. They're 0-1. You can say whatever you want.
They're more promising, the Giants.
They are. They have a young talent, and their young talent's been on display. But, my God, Casey, their god-awful defense can't stop anybody. I'm pretty sure if we put my grandma out on the field, she could probably get past Jenkins out on the field. It's just that bad.
I 100% agree with you, though. But 2 of their 3 first-round draft picks were on defense. The other one was Daniel Jones. And what has the Giants not been able to do anything right this year on defense? So they traded for the guy in the Jets, the defensive lineman. They have some promising young guys on the line. Their secondary is just god-awful. They got to fix that somehow this offseason. I mean, they have good linebackers, and then that's also just been attributed to injury. Alec Ogletree, Ryan Connolly have both been out for a majority of the season. So
you're right, Casey, and I think that's just what it comes down to. I think Lorrie was too spoiled this season. She got the win as a 14-0 conference championship.
Well, hey, I mean, I don't know if I agree with my time either.
Guess who had a better seed?
But then you guys still lost in 3.
We both lost in 3.
Hey, we got that in common.
Utter mutual destruction. But let's move on because we're going to get to this week's on-the-fly moment. A little bit of a pun with our podcast title name. But this week's on-the-fly moment goes to Golden Tate of the New York Giants, who flew over a Cowboys defender on Monday Night Football this week for an insane one-handed grab. Looked a little bit like OBJ's one-handed catch 5 years ago against the Cowboys. Not necessarily so, but Casey, what were your thoughts?
I mean, if you look at the pylon cam on that one, it first of all looks great, especially for Giants fans like me. But I don't know. This is probably the time where Randy Moss comes in and just yells straight cash on me. I don't know if that would be a...
I don't know, but
that's how good his catch was.
Yeah, but I thought you were gonna say you got Moss. I'm pretty sure I just pointed it to you. I even put my finger next to it. I said,
I was leaving it for you, Rocco.
Yeah, but I put it I while I was doing the doc, I legit made it an upper.
It's for Casey that line.
Right, it was for Casey. I told Casey
to
say you got Moss. Well, actually, no, he was the one who actually wrote the line, but I just made it all caps to emphasize the emphaticity. Yeah, my English isn't the best today. Probably should have used a thesaurus like I always do. But we're going to get to one of our favorite games, actually a new set we're going to introduce. And it's going to be Bet or Nah. And for all you that don't know what bet is, Lorrie, what does bet mean?
Bet is kind of like...
Put Lorrie on the spot.
You know what?
It's more like a yes or no.
Yes, but really confident. And you just... I can't see you take this. I can't.
You said it perfectly.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put it into a sentence. Lorrie, do you want to go eat a muffin?
Nah.
Bet. Yes.
Or
with confidence.
Right. But in this case, in this segment, it's either bet or nah. So Casey, would you like to go eat a muffin?
Nah.
Right. So we all get the parameters. Okay,
I
great.
hope I explained it good enough. I can't explain
great.
it. Someone asked me that before.
All right.
All right, numero uno. 49ers will continue undefeated season against a tough Seattle team. Casey, I'm going to start with you because I'm pretty sure Lorrie does not know what she will say for this.
She doesn't even know where Seattle is. But
Hey.
the answer I'm giving is nah. 49ers, only undefeated team left. If they were the Patriots still undefeated, they'd be getting all the attention, but no one talks about them. But honestly, they're not as good as the Patriots. They have a great defense, but Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm sorry, is not Tom Brady.
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you. I think I'm going to go nah with this one because...
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you too. I'm going to have to go nah.
Bandwagon Lorrie?
Yeah, bandwagon just following our opinions.
Because something Tom Brady.
Something Tom Brady.
Lorrie's definitely a Patriots fan, isn't she? Bandwagon?
Something Tom Brady. But, yeah, I mean, no, I'm serious. I think I'm going to have to agree with you, Casey, because... First of all, Seattle is just too tough. Russell Wilson is definitely going to end up being an MVP candidate. He has been so good all season long. And they got DK Metcalf, whose calves are probably the size of my head because they're...
Well, your head's not that big.
True.
Is it?
I mean, Saquon's calves are bigger than...
Oh my God, Saquon Barkley.
Just while we're getting into it.
Saquon Barkley's legs is probably a fantasy...
We're getting off.
Yeah, we're getting so off. All right, so... We got nah, and nah. On to the next one. The Nets will go 5-0 on their road trip. They're at Portland. They're at the Phoenix. They're at Utah. They're at Denver. And they're at Chinatown.
I would say the opposite.
Yeah, I don't
They go 0-5.
So that's
a nah.
That's a super nah.
That's not how this works, Casey. It's bet or nah.
Well, obviously nah. It's a super nah.
It's a super nah? Do you think you could go 0-5?
I could see 1-4, but not anything above that.
I mean, they're all basically tough teams. I'd say the Phoenix is probably a winnable
Phoenix
game.
is playing very well this season.
Yeah, and Chicago, they have not been playing good.
That's the one game I think that they could win. But I don't see them winning in Portland, in Phoenix, in Utah, or in Denver.
Portland,
Yeah,
Dame.
definitely not all of them, if that.
Yeah, Portland, Dame, he's too lethal. Suns, Ayton, and Booker, they've been just going off all season. The Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. Donovan Mitchell is just too good. You know his nickname is Spider Mitchell?
I do. He also is a Mets fan.
Surprising. I like how you weave the Mets in this podcast. You know, I think we just discussed.
Rocco, I want you to read the topic in a few moments that we'll get into. I want you to read that and see what I say.
Okay, I will. Next one. Mepham football wins against Manhasset on Saturday.
Nah.
Ooh.
Bet. I'm saying yes.
All right. Why?
Well, the only losses are to MacArthur, Garden City. Manhasset is not near those two.
What is Manhasset's record? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
Not as good as...
Yeah,
really?
no, because they're hosting, so Mepham's hosting.
Okay, yeah. So
Mepham's going to be the home team.
Going on from my experience, Manhasset's good at most other sports. Like, they're good at basketball. They've got a solid team. If they're not good in football, then, maybe we have a shot.
They're not bad at football. Like no,
it probably will be pretty neck and neck.
I don't think it'll be like a blowout, but I think that Mepham will come away with it.
Yeah, well, we're really going to have to
I think they're just going to be able to fix that offense
together.
that they've been struggling with.
Well, I think I'm going to have to go with Bet. I mean, you know what, Casey, you're right. I've not been a fan of the combination of Billy Kender and Shaun White throwing picks, getting picked off by seagulls and eagles throughout the air. The first
by the bay, it's the Bagels, but
that was good.
That was.
See what I did there?
I see.
All right, keep going, Rocco.
No, but I'm serious though. Like, they do have to cut down their interceptions, but their defense is too lethal. When you add Nick Lease, the Lease brothers, the Haggai brothers, including Matt Haggai, Newsday's top 100, Matt Haggai, that kid is too much of a beast. That kid has been balling out all season long. I personally think he's going to make the All-State list. If we're going to be honest, he's definitely going to be a Golden 11 candidate. And the halfback, Kenny Frank Keys Sr., we all know Kenny, right?
Yeah, Kenny.
BMB member.
Yeah, he's our
He's our jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's our jack of all. He's
in the studio, on the field, doing whatever you need.
On the fly.
On the fly.
Right, on the fly. But he's not as multifaceted as I am.
As this crew we got here.
Yeah. You said it best, Rocco.
Well, most particularly me.
Okay.
Okay.
But no, I'm serious though. I think they come away with the win. They gotta keep the interceptions down.
They gotta play a clean game.
Right. Sure. Defense is gonna play a big part.
Defense hasn't been an issue though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It hasn't. I think the offensive line has been weakened a little bit as the weeks have gone on. But yeah, I think they have what it takes.
Rocco, I want you to read this next line with passion.
I will read this next line with passion because my Yankees lost the ALCS in 6 games. I am truly devastated.
And what did I wear the next day?
That Bregman jersey. I told you as soon... I came in at 7:30 in the morning. I told you straight then and there, Casey, please take off that jersey before I truly get mad and burn that jersey.
And you remember what I told you? I said, if you wanted to watch the Yankees still, go to the History Channel.
Oh, I remember
Casey,
that.
man, you're bringing up flashbacks, and it's just not pleasant. Right. As soon as I saw that home run, I think for the first time in a while.
Altuve's home run?
Yeah, I think for the first time in a while, I almost felt like crawling up to the ground and crying. That's what I felt like doing. But anyway, the fourth and final bet or nah question.
Read it with pride, Rocco.
DJ LeMahieu deserved to be in the top 3 voting for the AL MVP. Casey, the results came out, and for the top 3 voting for the MVP,
Mike Trout, Alex Bregman, and Marcus Semien.
Right. No DJ LeMahieu. Why?
Well, I'm going to start off, which I've been waiting to say for, I would say, a solid hour, Rocco. If the Yankees had a mascot, it would be you. Because DJ LeMahieu did not put up the numbers that I would say Marcus Semien did.
Casey, I think the word for you would be disillusioned analysis. Because are you kidding? Did you not see DJ LeMahieu play all season long? He was clearly the MVP. He got clutch hits. He even got robbed of a Golden Glove. Come on, you can't rob the guy of a Golden Glove. He was one of the better defensive.
Well, who won it in the AL at second base?
I think it was Altuve. No, it wasn't Altuve.
It wasn't Altuve.
Who was it? Lorrie, would you know?
Dude, I have no idea.
Lorrie would know.
We know any. No, I
you know what? Not important.
No, but you're a Yankee fan, right?
Oh. What fan are you?
I'm not. I don't follow anything.
All right.
I'm a BMB Sports fan.
You're a BMB Sports fan? Well,
yeah.
A true BMB pride. Lorrie has true BMB pride through and through. Are you sure? Like not even family? Don't follow anybody?
No. Wait, what'd you ask?
I said,
does any of your family?
Yeah, does any of your family follow?
No.
According to
government,
advanced placement government, that you're most likely to follow the influence of your family members.
Yeah, you were right. You're right.
Yeah, true.
My mom likes to watch everything, but she doesn't really nothing specific.
All right.
Yeah. Lorrie's true greatest hero is Doris Burke. Doris Burke. Doris.
Sorry, Doris.
Doris. Doris is the OG. She is the OG goat.
Rocco, can we get back to me grilling you about the Yankees?
Go right ahead.
Right.
I got something to say too.
Besides Trout and Bregman, who else was up there towards the top in WAR?
Trout?
I said besides Trout and Bregman.
That's a good question.
The answer was the guy who got ranked third. Well, we presume third. What was in the other guy in the top 3, Marcus Semien, with a WAR over 7. Batted leadoff for the Oakland Athletics. Led them to the playoffs, which, I mean, so did the Yankees, but...
Yeah, but Casey, that's one thing I don't like about your analysis points. I think you're too into the numbers. And for me, I just don't like seeing that.
You're into the eye test. But you didn't go out to Oakland and go look at Marcus Semien.
I did. No?
I went to Oakland over the summer.
Oh, yeah, nice little...
For 1 week.
Yeah, weird flex right there, Casey. Weird flex.
But okay.
Yeah, but okay. Well, this has been an interesting first episode, I'd say.
I feel like we went on some rants.
Yeah, we did go on some rants, but like I said to you guys, this is our venting outlet. Not really. Don't quote me on that. Not a venting outlet. But, this was a great podcast, and I think, I think we got to mostly everything, actually.
I would 100% agree with you, Rocco. First time I think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And, we'll have everybody back for the second episode. I do believe you guys will be able to meet Tom Morrow, or Tomorrow, as Casey likes to quote him. Tomorrow.
I made that realization. I was so proud.
Yep. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here right now because he was filming BMB Midweek Update. But anyway, this has been the first episode of On the Fly Podcast. I've been Rocco Law.
I'm Casey Fahrer.
I'm Lorrie Dellacroce.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
On the Fly.